Well, hello and welcome back to the On Call podcast. My name is Cody Nichols, your host, and today we have a very special guest with us. I'm actually excited because it's the first episode, I think, with a guest or collab.
I'm so excited right now. You have no idea.
Yes. Not only is she one of my closest friends, but also a woman of faith, a business owner, and a wife. I'd like to introduce Madeline Robertson,
Aww.
and I'll let you go ahead and say whatever.
Well, you said Madeline Robertson. I'm not a Robertson anymore.
That is
girl.
true. I'm
No,
still
but
used
it's
to
okay
it.
because I just got married like July of last year, so it's almost been a year. But do you know I still sign Robertson like on documents sometimes? It's like embarrassing. I'm not used to being like a searcher, but so I was in college, so I'm 21. I went to IRC Community College, and it was fun. I mean, like, it's called, I was like, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And then, like, so we took over Pop Shack. My sister and I, previous owner had it, but, like, she hurt her back. And then my sister and I were like, we're not doing anything. Let's just buy this business. And I don't know what we were thinking, honestly, but oh no, it's been a great blessing. It's been awesome. It's dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free popsicles. And it's been doing really, really well. But yeah.
Yeah, I always see it everywhere. Like literally, I was getting coffee the other day at Subculture.
Oh yeah,
and
they're in there, yeah.
I saw a Pop Shack cart there.
Yeah.
And like, actually, tell them I know y'all had an event recently with Lululemon.
Yeah, we had an event with Lululemon, and then we did another store in the mall. Fiore. It's next to Aerie. How do you say it?
Yeah, Aerie.
Yeah, it's
I
right
think
next to it.
Aerie.
But Lululemon was awesome. They're the sweetest people. Like Lululemon, if you're hearing this, I love you. They're the kindest people ever. They literally gave me this girl named Ursula. She works there. She gave me like 2 things full of Alani's, like the energy drinks, like 2 big boxes. I think I had 50 Alani's. Yeah, it was awesome. I was stocked on Alani. It was awesome.
Yeah, you're good now. You're set for life.
Good. Yeah, I don't need any more, but it was awesome. So yeah, it was really, really fun. Really fun.
Well, I'm really excited for this episode today, and we're going to talk more a little bit about business and get more into all of that, and also just really I wanted to kind of cover like just being a woman in your 20s and everything from relationships to just life, jobs, friends, and then also just talking a little bit about faith too and what that looks like, because it's definitely something that I feel like it's harder to do sometimes as a young adult because it's not always typical.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, also, y'all, my memory is like Dory, so I will be using my phone for notes on occasion here.
Yeah, it's okay.
I wanted to start with a little icebreaker question, and that is, what is the worst advice you've been given?
Worst advice? Oh my God. Hold on. It's such an interesting question. I like that because it's like, people normally ask what is like the best advice, but the worst advice?
Yeah, I feel like I never hear people say like, what is like the bad advice?
Okay, mine's not like super serious because it's kind of like, I don't know. But this girl I was friends with, I won't say her name just to keep, whatever, keep it private. But I went to school with her at IRC, and she was just very like different from me. She like was into like the crystals, you know. Wasn't into Jesus or like any of that. And it's fine. Like she knew what I believed. I respected her. It wasn't like awkward. But she told me like to do the wrong things because it always ends up being more fun. And I'm like, yeah, but like if I decided like, oh, I'm going to go rob a bank and then I end up in jail. Like to me, that's not fun. But like, that was more like a silly answer because I honestly can't remember like bad advice. That's like the worst.
Honestly,
advice.
that is bad.
Like, but she genuinely was. She was like serious about it. She was like, "No, you need to like do the wrong things, and like it's gonna be fun. Like I promise." She's like, like you just like, but it's like, oh, I want to like, when you think like you can like jump onto a train. Do you ever have that thought?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it could be like cool in the movie. No, it's not gonna work out. You're gonna fall off.
You know what it kind of reminds me of is, and I know like I don't want people to come at me for this. Like I'm just in general how a lot of times girls now are like, do it for the plot. And I mean, I've said that before too, but sometimes it's like, sometimes it's good and it works, but sometimes like do it for the plot is trying to like justify doing something.
No, for sure. What about you though? I want to hear yours. Yours are probably super wise. Yeah. And I just gave a really cringy answer.
Mine is honestly kind of cringy too, but it's when people say, listen to your heart or follow your heart, like I've had so many people just say, like, do what you feel like doing. And the truth is, like, I kind of thought about this. Your heart deceives you. And before the podcast, I was looking up a verse, Jeremiah 17:9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? And I was like,
whoa.
I thought about it. I actually had a girl, like, probably 2 weeks ago. I was talking to her on a Sunday, and she said something to me that really stood out. She's like, sometimes your heart has to catch up to what your mind already knows. And I was like,
I love that.
Wow, like I never thought of it because
I've never thought of it that way.
No, me either. And I'm like, honestly, sometimes like your heart takes longer to process things, even if you maybe know something's not good for you or whatnot. Yeah. And so I feel
love
like
that.
I feel like better advice would be like listen to God, or like listen to wise counsel, or I mean, I guess if anything, like maybe more like listen to your gut. I would trust probably my gut over my heart. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. I don't know.
But I feel like because you're like, I don't know. For me, it's just like, okay, like Julian and I, Julian's my husband. Like if we ever get into a fight, I never, ever speak out of emotion. Because if we're fighting in that moment, I want to say something really hurtful because I could, but I don't. It's because I'm too emotional. Like you shouldn't speak out of anger. So like you shouldn't make a decision or like listen to your heart because you're too emotional in that moment. I think it's always good to like, even if it's like 30 minutes and just like pray and think about it, you know what I mean? Before you make, you do the action or like whatever it is. But I really like that. That's so sweet. She's so wise. You're wise. I mean.
No, that's good. Be slow to speak. Yeah. That's something I need to be better about because sometimes
don't we all though?
Sometimes I have something and I just can't seem to let it sit, and then I regret every time. I always regret saying it. Yeah, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. But
no, I get it. It's very humbling when you're like, I should have said that.
So kind of like transitioning here, I'm going to skip over this career section first, and I feel like maybe get into relationships because that kind of goes with all of that. I wanted to ask just about married life, like advice
Let me get more comfortable.
Yes, let me just. I need some popcorn or something.
Yeah, right.
I guess just how it's like the best parts about it for you.
Yeah, honestly, like. Again, I am young. I got married at 20, and it was like the whole wedding. Like we'll have to like I don't know. It's like a long story of how I like got married.
A story time episode.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I won't bore them with that. But honestly, doing life with your best friend is like the coolest thing ever, and it's the sweetest time because like I was very much before Julian. I was super like. I don't want, like, I hate saying independent woman, but I was very fine on my own. Like, honestly, like, I was doing just fine. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
how
I was
like,
I'm going to move to Portugal, like, before COVID. Like, I was going to move to Portugal.
I remember
this.
That.
I had everything planned. I was like, I'm going to move to Portugal. It's going to be great. I'm going to have a great time. And, like, maybe find, like, a man in Portugal. He was, obviously in Germany. But, it's such a sweet time. And, like, to just do life with your best friend and... I don't know, to make memories together and grow up together. Because again, we are young, obviously get married when you want to get married. But like, God had different plans for us. But like, I would just say it's just fun to do life with someone that like, absolutely. Is your best friend and supports you with everything, So
I feel like that's such a good perspective too, because I see and hear people a lot of times being like, like, I got married and it's been all right. Or, I know one person who was saying that it's like, I get home and there's my wife. And I was like, it just, that's not how I would want to
sound happy.
That's not how I would want to view marriage. I love the perspective of you're doing life together. And
well, like, I don't know. That's so sad to hear because like, obviously Julie and I fight like every couple fights. When we were dating, we fought like it's normal, but not like, there's no one I'm more excited to see than him. Like, knowing he's coming home is like the best feeling ever. It's
like that's your person.
I'm not even joking. He always comes immediately to me when he gets home and hugs me. It's like the sweetest thing ever. So
I love that.
Yeah. So
okay,
being married is awesome. Get married young, guys.
Yeah. Ring by spring. Actually, well, I guess it was summer for y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is there like a set day to like, is like that it's like declared summer, or is it just like?
I think there is. I honestly can't remember.
But it's Florida. We're in Florida, so like we just feel like it's summer all the time. There's no like.
It's hot.
It just feels hot all the time.
Like,
it's stupid.
Okay, so I guess my next question would just be like, what's the best advice you have for? So just for context, I am like a single person in my 20s, so it's interesting. I kind of wanted the two perspectives because I think
that's so fun. I think it's good to have both because like I'm not single anymore, so I don't have that mindset of like, what it's like, you know. I mean, I haven't been married that long, but like, you know what I mean?
So it's different. It's like it's not your phase of life now. Yeah. So what would be your best advice for someone like me, or I guess all the ladies out there who, you know, you're in your, like, I don't want to say waiting season, but you know, like,
you're waiting for your man, you know, that's what you're waiting for. No, honestly, like, advice, you know, I feel like before I met, you know, my husband, I was so, and I don't want to like offend anyone, but I don't want to say selfish. You're not selfish, but you are. You're a little selfish when you're single because, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that like, you know, in a good way, because you're not worrying about another person. It's just you're worrying about yourself and like, what are your next plans? Like I was so busy all the time. Like I always had to be hanging out with my friends like every night.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, like advice for young girls who are waiting, I would just say, I don't want to sound like basic like church answer, but like, you genuinely have to trust God. And I know it's like a lot easier said than done, but like there's a lot of noise going on in your head. And what I mean is like, there's Satan's voice, there's your voice, there's the world's voice, you know, and then there's God's voice. You need to let God be the loudest out of all of those, because I felt a lot of pressure because all my other friends had boyfriends and I was like, I mean, I was fine. I wasn't like mad, but I was just kind of like, I would like to like, you know, I'd like to have like a person, but it always happens when you're not looking for it though. I'm being so serious.
I believe it. Like I used to be like, when people would tell me that and I just thought it was the fluffy answer. But then I realized as time went by, it's so true. Every time I haven't looked for something, I've got something. Yeah. And whenever I've looked, I have got like nothing.
No, because honestly, I mean, like, look at like, okay, literally a year and a half ago, I was single in college. I married a guy that's like from Germany, like no idea, like I just, you know, God knows better than you, and like what. I don't know, because like looking back, I'm like, that is crazy. Like I got married, like we literally planned our wedding in like 2 months. We got engaged like after 6 months of dating, and then like married into like it was a fast wedding. Okay?
Yo, they had such a beautiful wedding.
She was a bridesmaid.
That was my first time being a bridesmaid too.
That was such a fun wedding. I'm not saying it's because my wedding. I've been in a lot of weddings, but that one was so much fun.
Yeah, I can vouch.
But I also was a little. I think I had like 3 margaritas for. I don't even remember. It was really fun.
Isn't that a song? Wait, 1 margarita, 2 margarita.
Luke Bryan, if you're listening, I love you.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, I love you.
If you ever want to be on the podcast, I would not say no.
He would be so fun. Like
that would be awesome. I don't know what we would talk about.
I don't know. Fishing.
Yeah, fishing. I don't
whiskey.
know how to fish.
I don't know. Like whatever country people like. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully that helps. It's honestly just be yourself and like be in the Word. Pray, and this is something I did, pray for like specific qualities you want your guy to like your future husband to have. And this is actually something a mentor told me, and I think it was really sweet. And I think I've told you this, like, and I never thought about this. They're like, you know, you want to carry yourself whenever you're meeting people. This is just like in general, you're meeting people, whatever. You want to carry yourself in like I don't want to say watch the way you're acting, but it's like, would your future husband appreciate that? Like if I'm, okay, I mean, I didn't do this, but if I'm like all over the, like, you know, like guys or whatever, and we're like flirting and stuff, it's like, would my future, obviously like we're all going to flirt, you know, and do stuff, but it's like just being aware of your own actions and like, honestly, guard your heart too. Like, don't just like go to talk to a guy and like, cause he's cute and like, you know, these dating apps and stuff. It's just like,
well, y'all, I'm going to do a whole episode on dating apps sometime.
I can't wait to listen to that.
I can tell you, like, not that they're bad. Like they can be good, but
no, I'm not trashing anyone who
just
has
had
that.
a lot
I'm
of
just saying I've never done that. I'm so excited for that podcast. I can't wait to hear all the juicy stories.
I think that's such good advice. So like all
Hopefully
of that,
it was.
like
I
what
hope
you're
it made
saying,
sense.
no, about like having first just, you know, all the voices, because there are so many different things competing for your attention. It's exhausting because we have social media, which is telling you
I should have
what your life should look like. And I mean, it's so hard, and it's hard to distinguish like, okay, what voice is God and what voice is me or like somebody else. Like it's so hard. And then also what you were saying just about like, you know, not only praying for what you want, sorry, words.
It's okay.
But also like just conducting yourself in a way that's what your future husband would want. And I think that's something.
To respect yourself. It's not even for that. It's like respect yourself enough to not be like, you know, doing all these things. Cause I mean, like I've had a party stage. We all like, we've all had this. Like we had, too. You know, but I look back and I'm like kind of embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed, but I'm like,
I look back and like, it's just like, what was I doing?
Cause I wouldn't want my daughter to do that. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's
like your heart's so fragile. And I think that's what's hard, especially as girls. Cause like you can put up a front, but I've learned like it's only going to last for so long. And like after a while, like, you know, stuff's fun for a while and then it just eventually it'll catch up to you and it just hurts over time. And I feel like what you said, you know, you got to have your guard up and you never know.
Just make sure you're protecting yourself because, you know, you got to, well, honestly, just the last piece of advice, make sure your relationship, I feel like I'm like staring and I'm like, make sure you have a solid relationship with God, because if you're like going in to date a guy and you think you're going to make your relationship with God better, yourself better, honey, it's not going to work, because they don't complete you. Your husband's supposed to compliment you. And that's something I learned. And it's like, I wasn't, you know, I had a great relationship with God. I think that's why, you know, my marriage was so fruitful and sweet and like not stressful. I mean, I've had stressful times and that's normal, but like you got to have a solid relationship with God, and you can't rely on the other person to make you happy, because if you do, you're just going to fall apart. I'm being honest.
That's so real. I mean, I've definitely been.
We've all done that. I mean, past relationships, friendships even.
Yeah. And it's like, honestly, I think I even had that in my notes. That's hilarious. Like, you have to love God first, and then also like love yourself. Because I've realized, like, if you don't know how to love yourself properly, like, how are you going to love another person? And I've seen that on both ends. Like, I've seen me not be able to love someone properly because I was confused or I didn't know at the time. But I've also been on the opposite end where someone didn't know how to love themselves properly, and then they couldn't love me. And it was like obvious that was why. So
that's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
It's, you know what though? Everyone's on their journey in life, you know,
Everyone's
and they'll figure it out. And I hate saying that, but you'll figure it out. God's got you. Don't worry about it.
It's all a growing process. And I guess kind of like branching off from relationships, like romantic relationships, wanted to talk about friendships and just start with the question, like, do you think it's better to have like a small circle? Do you like to have a lot of like kind of friends or people in your life at one time? And then just off of that, like, what is the significance of godly friendships?
Okay. So like to answer the first question, I mean, like, I think it depends on the person, because I know some people who are like super bubbly. You know, we're like, we have some friends who are like love people, but I think that's like they feed off the energy, like they love the energy, and that like fills their cup. You know what I mean? And like they just like love, what is it, like extroverts? Extroverts, like
extroverts,
like being around a bunch of people, and then there's like introverts who I feel like if introverts get like a bad rap, they're like, they don't like doing it. I don't feel like that's true. I just don't think they're like, they need a big group of people.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like their battery works a little differently, like social battery.
Yeah, but for me personally, I mean, I've gone through the seasons of having a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
No offense, that was not for me. That was exhausting. I can't handle it. It's too many personalities, honestly. I can't handle all that. And there's too much drama, right? Like,
yeah, there's always...
It's too much stuff. Like, they got a lot, like, I'm just like... I don't know.
I feel like when I was in college, anytime there was a big friend group, especially if it was girls and guys.
Oh, man.
You already know.
That's
like,
a lot of...
Especially like freshman year, there's always stuff going down. Friend groups were not really for me is what I learned. Like if I have a friend group now, it's like 5 people and under tops.
That's me. Yeah. I prefer a smaller group of people, but because you can invest in them more, you know what I mean? Like, and you can like, it's just, I don't want to say easier because I'm like some people I'm sure can have multiple friends and they make it work. But when you're busy, like it's hard to, I barely see, like I see you like one, I mean, I do see you quite often, but like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
which is like, I feel honored
mean?
because this girl is so busy. And like, I
you're
remember
so sweet.
Even when I had kind of a hard time, like about a month ago, I got back home, had some stuff, you know, not work out. And literally Madeline was the person who I actually saw the most. She doesn't even live close to me, really. Like,
oh my God. I would drive wherever.
Yeah.
for Cody.
I remember like getting dinner that week, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just
we were in it
talking
together. I think that's why. Like, you got your friends here. We love you. That's sweet. I feel honored.
Gotta pull up my notes here. Okay. So next question, kind of off that, how do you deal with, I guess, the drama or the friendship breakups in general, just like the conflicts in relationships?
Oh, man, I don't want to say what I'm about to say, but like, I just ignore them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but
D&D.
like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm just so picky about who I'm friends with. And this was like for guys. Like I was so picky about who I dated. Like Julian, if you're watching, you're so lucky. I picked you. I'm just kidding. No, but like I'm so picky. You know what I mean? Like
as you should be.
Yeah, but drama. I'm trying to think of like the last time I had drama with a friend. You know what I mean? Like what I did. Oh, no idea. And I just thought of it. I was like, wait.
She's like, actually.
No, there was it.
Oh. Laptop. This is supposed to happen. Oh.
I think you're good.
Okay. I think it's still
good. I think friendship, I don't know, like I think friendships like and drama, it's just like I won't say her name, but this happened a while ago. But like we were just, I really liked her, but when we would talk, I want to say like 90% was about her.
Right.
And like what she was going through. And that's awesome. I'm going to be there and I'm super nice. I would never be like, can we like talk about me for a minute? You know what I mean? I would never do that. But it was just like, I realized like she only wanted to hang out with me like when she wanted to. It was on her time. And like this girl was not doing anything. Like, and she didn't have a job. You know, it's like, it was just like.
It wasn't like reciprocated effort.
It was like, I don't know. Sorry, my like ringer went off.
No, you're good.
Oh my God, do you ever turn your camera on by accident? I was embarrassed.
I do it all the time.
Right? And then I'm like, I see my double chin and I'm like, ew. But like honestly, like as I've gotten older, I'm not that old, I know. But like, I feel like marriage kind of like matures you in certain areas.
Right.
That's like a whole nother topic I could talk about. But honestly, as I've gotten older, I've learned to be a little more bold. Like, I speak my mind now. I'm just kidding. No, because I feel like when I was younger, I was so shy and I'd never want to say anything to hurt anyone's feelings. You know what I mean? Like, I know. Like, so I remember, like, I just don't like confrontation, but, like, she was being really weird to me. Like, she wasn't answering any of my texts and, like, and I don't know, it was just very, like, awkward. This was, like, I want to say, like, 2 years ago. And I just, like, didn't know, like, what to do. Like, it was just, I knew there's something weird going on. I was like, is this something I did?
Right.
So, like, normally I would never say anything, but, like, I just asked her, I was like, hey, you know, like, what's going on? You know, and then, like, she told me, and I was like, oh, thinking, I feel so much better.
Communication.
Yeah, communication is key for friendships, you know, because, like, I know, like, you know, you can get hurt and then not say anything, and then, but, like, drama, honestly, I hate saying it, but I just kind of, like, slowly step back. Like, I take little baby steps back, and then, like, if they invite me somewhere, I'm like, no. Like, I'm very sick. You know, like I'll make up something. And just being like, you got to separate yourself because at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself. Boundaries, people. No, you do. You have to set boundaries. And like, that's like, I remember when I got married, like I just set like certain boundaries with like a lot of people because it's just different when you're married, you know, but this, I mean, this is just like a girl friendship, but you know, like I just say so slow, like too. Baby steps, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Definitely, like, I think boundaries. I think I talked about it in the last episode too. Just like what you said, communication's so important. I always like when people are upfront about things, or when you don't let a problem simmer, you bring it up in a loving way. I always believe like face to face is ideal.
Don't go talk behind people's backs. Like, what are we doing?
And I've learned like people don't always want to do that, unfortunately. So I've had situations where like I have tried to meet with a person, resolve something, and if they don't want to, there's a couple different ways you could go. I think there is like a passage in the Bible that talks about like bringing in, what was it, like counsel from the church, or bringing in like someone from the church, or like almost like a mediator. I'll have to circle back to that.
There is another verse, isn't like be you with the wise and you'll become wise, or something like that.
Honestly, I think in some situations you just have to like evaluate who's in your circle in your life, and then just your product of your environment, or what is it, like you're the product of the 5 people you're with the most, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, when I've had conflict, honestly, I tend to just...
Do you ignore them too? Just kidding.
I was going to say, I tend to honestly just...
Not ignore it. You know what I mean. It's like step back.
Try to resolve, but if it can't, there's a point where it's like, I think sometimes past resolving, and that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to accept that it's not that the person's a bad person, it's just you're different people growing in different directions, and that's okay. I feel like, honestly, each phase of life I look in, my friends have been like different, literally year to year, except I have a couple people like you that I've been friends with since 13. That's how you know. God, that's like how you know they're real.
Wild. Those are true friendships. People.
Yeah. And literally just praying too about like, if you have any doubts or concerns about people in your life, just pray. Ask God to show you like what you need to see. And I've found that He has shown me a lot of times like what I needed to see.
You're fearfully and wonderfully made, so go to God. You know, He loves you.
Yeah. Okay, kind of probably the last topic we'll cover today, because I think my camera is going to run out of storage soon. How has your faith like grown in your 20s, or what has that looked like for you?
Oh my gosh, that is such a deep question.
Or I guess even like what's been, I guess, even the most challenging thing like you've had.
Oh man. Honestly, I would say getting married. You know, it is, and I'm not like, this is not to like discourage anyone from getting married. It is the most amazing thing, and best decision of my life. You know, obviously, you know, accepting Jesus in my life that was the best. But you know, like being married is so much fun. There's also a lot of challenges because first year of marriage, and I know a lot of people say this, is the hardest because you're getting to know that person. Like you're sharing a bed with them, you know, like you're seeing all their gross habits, and you're just like, ugh, like men are gross. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's different. It's like you're living with somebody else.
And, you know, Julie and I did long distance. So like, you know, there was a lot of built up, I want to say like I was harboring a little bitterness a lot from some things that happened, you know, during that time. Because again, he was in Germany, like, I don't know what that, like 7 hour day, I don't know. It was a wild, like whatever. But, there was a lot of stuff I was harboring. And so like I became bitter. So like when you come back, I was like not like super joyful, which was horrible. And I regret that, but it was just because I let Satan win and have that victory of like, me just being bitter about certain things. So there was a lot of trials, you know, in marriage, but it is like the best decision ever because like you learn, I hate that saying, but it's like you learn from your mistakes. It's so true. That's such a good saying. It is so true. And not even mistakes, but you like learn from all of that, you know?
Yeah.
And like the stuff you've gone through, you like learn from all of that. So yeah, I would say that was, you know, that's a challenging thing, but it is the best decision like ever. And being married is so fun. Get married young. I keep saying that. I'm like, get married young.
Get married young.
You know, but you know, I mean,
I like that.
In your own timing, but you know,
yeah,
it's awesome. So
no, I think that's good. I keep eyeing the camera. I have another SD card. We might be swapping out here soon.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I don't know what my biggest challenge has been. I would say probably just like actually comparison. I think that's one thing I really struggled with, because first there's just comparison, like outward, like especially as a gym rat or trying to be gym rat, you know, you compare your body.
She's super buff under her sweatshirt. Just saying.
I don't know about my arms, like, but leg day
Girl.
is.
You need to teach me. I don't know how to do anything in the gym. I get intimidated.
We'll run it up for sure.
Right.
But it just body image, even just, you know, with social media, because I'm very into marketing, media, all of that. And so part of my job is like I have to be on it all the time. And so I end up seeing like all these beautiful, you know, you see beautiful women, models, like in the industry I am going into with like fashion and all of that. Like it's just, you see a lot of people who it looks like they are living their best lives, and some of them are, but sometimes like media is very deceiving. Photoshop.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
I mean, I've done that too. I've literally had a terrible like there's multiple times I've had a terrible day, and then I'll take this like really great awesome picture, you know, of my makeup done and all this stuff, making it look like I had the best Monday of my life, you know. But honestly, it's like people have no idea that it's totally
behind the picture is like you're actually miserable. It can be like
different.
Well.
And I feel like even just now being in my 20s, it's so confusing because once you're out of college, y'all, like it's a weird feeling, because then there's the question of, okay, I got to get a job and I got to figure out what I actually want to do. And then you adjust to a lot of times the 9-to-5 life, or if you're going to go the like entrepreneur direction, then that's a whole thing. And then it's like some people get married, and then some people like me are like, you know, I thought I would find someone in college. I went to a Christian college and I graduated and I ended up not, you know.
No man, you know.
Yeah. And so it's weird, because then it's like, okay, this is what I thought I was supposed to do. Like, you know, I feel like there's almost kind of a standard people think you have to go by. You go to college, you get a job right out of college, this awesome 6-figure job or whatever. And then you also have a ring out of college and all this stuff, especially in Christian schools. I feel like they push that, you know, but it's not accurate. Like that's not honestly how it is. Like, the job search is hard, and that's the truth, and figuring out what you want to do. And also relationships are hard, because it's not like you can put them on a timeline. Like, okay, like, you know, by this time this year, I'm going to be like it's not just up to you. It's like, and that's one thing I had to learn. Like, I have been so sure in other people just to have God say, no, like, close door. That's not for you. And it honestly was a wake up call. I'm like, okay, it really is God's timing, not mine.
I love that.
But yeah,
Dude, life is hard. 20s is hard.
20s
Will
are very
Ferrell
hard.
once said. I don't know if it's Will Ferrell
J-Lo once said.
Yeah, it's like, you know, your 20s is your time to screw up, and I hate saying it, but I feel like it's true.
It is.
Like, you got to figure out life. Oprah didn't become Oprah until she was like in her 30s, people. Okay, Elon Musk. I don't know what he was like a millionaire, and like he became a millionaire. I don't know. He didn't. Like his 40s. Like he was older in life. Like you don't have to have it all figured out in your 20s. And like there's no pressure. You know, like there's so much pressure to like go to college. You know, it's like, what are you supposed to know what you do?
Because some people, it's like you don't even have to. Like honestly, as a college graduate, I can say you do not have to
college dropout here.
Like you can.
I'm going back. Don't worry.
Like there's trade school. I know
there's
people
so many
who are entrepreneurs, and they
didn't I own a freaking popsicle business. Like what?
She's Pop Shack.
It's so random, but like God knows, you know, you just gotta trust him.
Doing collabs with Lululemon, and she got to
Cody
see.
started a podcast. We're just hyping each other up.
We're
like, but Cody started a podcast. You know, like it's awesome though. Like you gotta follow. You know. Follow your desires.
Yeah, follow your desires. Follow God. God provides. That's one thing I learned. Even when you can't see it, sometimes He provides, and that's just, you know, lean not on your own understanding.
That's in Proverbs, right?
Yeah, Proverbs 3, I think.
I am not good with the address, but I know.
I only know that because I Googled it right before this. I am really not. Like I said, my memory is not that good. All the Bible, you know, when you're younger. Like Christian school, and they make you memorize verses and stuff. Like,
dude, that's why I've never gotten a Bible verse like tattooed on my arm, because they're like, oh, what does it say? I'm like,
I'll be like,
well, no, because I have this one on like the back of my arm, and I honestly
that's my fear with doing that. I literally think I wouldn't remember.
What does it say?
I would blink and be like,
it says, "Lord, here's my life." It's from is it Maverick City? Oh, Lord, here's my love. Hear the fire or something. I don't know. But,
yeah.
Maybe get a tattoo that you remember the meaning. But,
I do really want a tattoo.
We should talk about that in the next episode.
We should.
Tattoos. I've heard such
it's a controversial topic, I've realized.
Is it so crazy? Is it like in the Bible, like, do not get a tattoo? I've never seen that, but I don't know.
I've heard like different things,
Me
but
too.
we'll maybe we'll have a hot topics episode sometime. That would be
like asking juicy questions.
Yes.
I love that. I love like the juicy questions.
I do too.
But you had some good ones in here though. Stir up the pot. But you had good ones in here. That first question through, I was like, worst advice? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because honestly, I thought about it. I'm like, I think I've got a lot of bad advice in my life. And so don't take bad advice, moral of the story. But anyways, I'm glad that the camera is still...
It's still with us.
It's still with us.
Thank you, camera.
So I'll probably go ahead and wrap up here. But I wanted to thank you again for being on the episode.
Hopefully I was helpful.
I love everything you said. I think a lot of people watching are gonna
I think we're just relatable. Like I'm not trying, I don't have like, honestly, like I don't have the perfect answers and nor like, I don't for me, I'm not going to write down like points like I want to make. Like, I have like some jotted down, but it's like, you have, like I think you're just trying to be relatable. Like you're so relatable, like
thank you.
You want people, your audience watching, to be like, can relate to that,
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal here for the podcast is I just, I'm still figuring out life and I figure, we can figure it out together.
So everyone go and follow Cody right now.
Go subscribe, follow. Yeah, we're on Spotify and YouTube right now. We do have an Instagram account and hopefully TikTok soon.
Follow her on all social media platforms. Is that what they say?
And not to give y'all incentive to do that, but we will be having a giveaway soon.
You're doing
giveaways. You definitely will want to follow all the socials. But anywho.
Smash like, follow.
Yes. Smash like, subscribe.
I'm like, smash like, smash like. That sounds weird. I don't know.
I know it sounds weird.
Sorry, guys.
Well, thank you all for being with us today. And, smash like, subscribe.
Smash like, subscribe, guys. Oh my God. I can't. We need shirts that say that.
I know.
You need to make t-shirts or like hoodies.
That would be really cool. I would love to make hoodies. Maybe that can be something. Maybe when we get to 1K, we'll make some hoodies.
Oh my God. I'm going to cry. Why am I getting emotional? I don't know.
But thank you again for being here. Be sure to look out every Monday and Wednesday. We'll have new episodes up. And I will see y'all next time.
Bye.